The Regional States Committee is made up of commissioners across our entire footprint. And we come together as a family, and we work with stakeholders or family members at the table from a very diverse group. And we have different perspectives. And so that's what's so great about SPP is we're a family. We bring different perspectives to the table.
The Regional State Committee is really important to have that representation at SPP from each of the member states at the commissioner level, so that as decisions are being made, usually having cost implications, that commissioners are involved early in those decisions and can carry the messages back to their particular states on the impact to end-use customers, and just that participation at that level through the Regional State Committee, I think, really makes it important.
For me personally, the thing that makes the RSC so important is that I've met and worked with some wonderful people along the way. We've worked on a lot of issues, some large, some small, and really looking back now over 7+ years, we've had a significant impact on the lives of millions of people.
I was on the inaugural RSC. We had just started the RSC when I joined, and no one really knew what to make of us. There had never been anything like that in Southwest Power Pool before, but we really came together and wanted to help better serve everybody in the footprint. And it was really what we intended to do, and I feel like we really did that. I was very proud of what we were able to accomplish as the RSC.
The RSC is important because it represents a unique voice in this SPP stakeholder community for a number of reasons. The state officials, they represent state policy on a lot of different levels. They're trying to balance big issues like reliability, affordability, sustainability, economic development. They kind of have to look at the wide array of things that are important to government officials and policymakers in their state, their governor's office, and they've got to bring all that back to the SPP stakeholder process and represent all those interests. They're not looking out for any narrow advocacy position or a financial interest of one group. They're looking out for the public interest of their entire state, and that's a really unique voice within the stakeholder community. So I think that's why the RSC body is really an essential and important and unique part of the process.
We deal with complex issues here, and nobody can possibly know everything. And we can only be effective advocates for our own positions on an issue if we come into a conversation with an open mind and a willingness to listen to the others. And like anything else in politics, to me, this is about building relationships and establishing credibility.
Well, the biggest issues really were for us, for my group, was getting us set up, getting our feet under us, understanding where we were, our roles, meeting the market participants. That didn't take too long, but it was a very important step. But really, I think our biggest focus was transmission cost recovery, making sure that we could move power around the service territory in a meaningful way and provide low-cost power to everyone in the service territory.
The biggest issues that I have worked on and continue to work on and will dominate all of my time on the RSC, they've really centered on things like resource adequacy, which has not been the biggest challenge in the past, but has become an enormous challenge in recent years. And we have spent countless hours at the RSC and lower stakeholder groups to address resource adequacy and try to stay ahead of some of the challenges there. So one effort that we're working on that I personally think is going to be somewhat revolutionary is the consolidated planning process, and that's filtering its way up through the stakeholder process right now, and hopefully folks will look back in 10 years and say that was something really big that the RSC worked on and was a big part of, and now it's an essential part of what we do, hopefully 10 years from now.
And the most challenging items I have had or had to deal with SPP is when I was the chairman of the RSC during Storm Erie. And it was fantastic to see the family work together to really protect our grid. And we worked together and got through that February 15th and 16th. And then immediately afterwards, we worked on different task forces and have task forces and working groups and teams moving forward to see what we can do on resource adequacy to make us better.
Memories are about people, not policies. We talk about the policies, policies are important, but at the end of the day, what really counts are relationships with other folks. And you develop a working relationship and a friendship and respect for other people, and that makes it a lot easier to do the business that has to be done.
My best memories is just meeting some really great people, not only on the RSC, but the SPP staff. The expertise that's there always sometimes amazed me, and we really appreciated that expertise and the input from the staff, as well as the other RSC members from other states, getting their perspective versus just maybe your own.
Most of the memories I have about the RSC end up being about the personalities and the people that I served with on the RSC. The people that I've met through the SPP stakeholder community and SPP staff themselves. And just working with all of those individuals with a shared commitment to advancing the region's interest. Nobody looking out too narrowly for their own parochial interests, but all working together to move the region forward. That's the biggest memories that I have.
One of the things I learned on the RSC was that when one compares nationally RTOs, SPP is on the leading edge when it comes to doing things like script and JTIQ and other things. And when you look at the FERC's expected transmission planning rule, SPP is already doing most of those things. So SPP is among the leading RTOs when it comes to these kinds of reforms.
The words of wisdom I would give to the current or any future RSC is enjoy yourself and laugh, because you get bogged down in some very serious, very thorny debates. And everybody needs to come up for air, and everybody needs to consider all sides. So inject a little levity into it, because the world really isn't going to come to an end.
You need to work hard to know all that you need to know. This is a complex business, and then you need to listen carefully to your colleagues, because listening will enable you to take your views and meld them with the views of others to form an effective consensus.
If I was to give you one piece of advice, it would be get to know your other RSC members, and I'll just say outside the meetings. If you're still having dinners, gatherings of that sort, get to know them so that as you work through the issues and you have some discussions and you don't always agree, but you can at least have a relationship with those other members to know we're still trying to solve the same problem, and those relationships are very, very important, and at the end of the day can make a big difference in getting results.
But my favorite thing about SPP is at the end of the day, we remain friends and family. So that is a value that SPP brings to the culture, a family culture.